All the listeners are welcome. Today, my turn. So, today I thought to talk about uh, how to maintain right intentions. So, that means, so all your life, whatever thing you are facing, whatever circumstances you have, and which kind of uh, different kind of environment. Sometimes the government change rules, and you have to face uh, different situations. Different situations means sometimes the previously, if you talk about this pandemic, so the previously government lockdown and control people's movements, but now government want to give more freedom to people to move, but they should maintain their protection by themselves. So government try to keep the balance between these two. So you see the time to time the way of dealing with things change in this world. Same way, you should understand you also change like that from birth to death. When you are living in this world, we change our attitude towards different uh, encounters, different objects or different situations. We face these things time to time in different other ways. So that is the nature. That is, it is the way how our bodies and minds works. So two different people have two different attitudes. That is the reality. But when we are living in this society, we have to accept uh, the way of it governs, the way of it works. So sometimes, for example, in your home, you can, if you are the how do you say, householder, or the chief of the house or chief of your home, so then you can dictate or you can say this is the way how you should live, this is the way how we should work, or that depends on how you understand your life. uh, in the same way, the people who govern the country also have responsibilities. People who work in different professions also have their responsibilities. So, according to their education and understanding, they say this is good, this is bad. So sometimes maybe all these understandings, acceptances are different to each other, or sometimes they you can see as almost same. So time to time may they have different opinions with them. So depending on the authority and responsibility, they act according to their way, according to their beliefs, or most of the time we have to accept as it is. So even when you are living in your home, also the same. So that's why to make to keep people together and bring to a same opinion. So that's why people make discussions, seminars, this kind of things, and informing people. This is what is happening here. So all these processes are going on because to to bring all people to one decision or one understanding. But it is not 100% possible because different people, some people have strong opinions, so they are not much flexible. So they act according to their way. So it is the nature of this world all the time. When people don't have power, they can't actually uh, they can't force other people to do this thing and that thing, so according to their way. But when the people have the authority and they believe what they know is correct, so what their feelings, perceptions, and volitions are correct, so they do it, or they make rules to do it, because that is their responsibility. They think they are doing the right thing. So that is the way how this world works. You have to accept. Sometimes people have wrong understanding and they might do wrong things. But when we are living in this world, sometimes we have to accept it. Sometimes even you misunderstand things and act wrongly. So blaming yourself don't work. So you have to understand it is a reality, because different people have different backgrounds, different understandings, different considerations of where they watch, what they see. All these things come to matter in each and every moment. But these things are not permanent. These things are changing, because time to time people learn new things and they change their attitude. They change how they deal with this same issue in different ways. Their way of dealing with these things change. It is, they also can't stop it, because it is a natural phenomena within all consciousnesses, or within all these bodies and minds. It is the way how it works. So that's why it is important to keep our mind in the wholesome side. That means, when we are living in this world, we should know what is good and what is bad. So basic principle of this one is, so if you can watch your mind carefully, you see when mind caught up with greed and hatred. So you can understand, now my mind is obsessed by the greed. Now my mind is obsessed by the hatred. So these things you can understand if you are mindful. If you don't mindful, so then you don't understand what is going on within yourself or within your body and mind. So that this is an important thing to keep in mind, because when our mind fall into the unwholesome states, it gives rise to the unskillful verbal actions and bodily actions. Basically, it comes from unskillful mental actions. The mental actions are based on wrong view or the wrong understanding about the world. It leads to the greed-based, hatred-based thoughts. It creates greed-based, hatred-based thoughts. So it creates more disharmony by doing the wrong verbal actions and wrong bodily actions. So we have to understand this reality. It is a reality belongs to all living beings. That is a reality. So that's why we have to be mindful. We must put an effort to watch our mind, the states of our mind, the which kind of thoughts are arising in our mind. Are these thoughts based on greed and hatred or not, or based on non-greed and non-hatred? We have to watch. We have to understand carefully, because greed and hatred based thoughts leads to unskillful verbal actions and unskillful bodily actions. So that is the danger. So that's why it is important to keep in mind to maintain our mind, not to fall into greed-based actions and hatred-based actions. Why this greed and hatred arise in our mind? So that's why Lord Buddha say, this is because delusion, because not understanding the big picture of our life. That means how this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind works. What are the causes and conditions behind these things? Is there anyone control these things, or there is no one is controlling? It always runs based on causes and conditions arise on each and every moment. So when according to the causes and conditions at each and every moment, your consciousness arise, and that consciousness generate forms, feelings, perceptions, and volitions. So that is the meaning of consciousness. So eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind consciousness means that those things creates forms, feelings, perceptions, and volitions. So you always uh, your mind associate with these things. So this process basically based on delusion, not really knowing the impermanence and non-self within the system. So that non-self means it is a natural phenomena. It is always arise based on causes and conditions at that moment. So when the causes and conditions change, the products also change. That means the forms, feelings, perceptions, and volitions also change. So this is the reality. This is the thing you have to keep in mind. That is basics. Also that you leave it alone. So anyhow, greed is unskillful. Greed is the root of unskillful actions. And hatred and harming thoughts, ill will, and ill will based thoughts, these things are all unskillful. So this unskillful mental action arises because wrong view, wrongly see this world, think that I have the control on all these actions, or you think the other people have that authority to control their actions. So actually, all these actions based on conditions, whatever condition arise at that moment, change their way of seeing things, their decisions, their values, uh, how they see things. All these things change, and their decisions and their actions change based on whatever thing they perceive, whatever thing, how they feel it. So their intentions change, their actions change. This is the way of flowing this consciousness. It is the way how it happens within ourselves, and all external consciousness is also the same. External bodies and minds also the same. So if you keep in mind, we are tolerate whatever thing we are experiencing now. We are kind, soft, and gentle. We practice patience. So these good qualities you can cultivate if you relate to your experiences in right way. Right way come from right way. So these things we have to keep in mind. So people sometimes when people are doing the wrong verbal actions and bodily actions, it creates more problems in the society or within your family or to yourself. Once a person is doing wrong actions, wrong verbal actions and bodily actions, it will be harmful to himself or herself or to other people. So the people who are living with them or to the whole community. So sometimes people not properly knowing whether this is true or false, they publish things in WhatsApp or Facebook or Twitter or anything. So they are not clearly know what they are doing. So they spread things which create disharmony. generate anger, hatred. All this unskillful mentality generate by those posts or public the things they write in those social media. So you can see this world is now becoming a mess. People are minds are scattered and filled with a lot of greed, hatred. So this is this thing we have to understand very carefully, because this is how this world works even without having this social media. Previously people use other media like television, or these things actually governed by the government, so they put a lot of rules and conditions not to happen the wrong things. But still the newspaper like things, people write whatever thing they like. But some countries have the laws to control whatever thing they publish, but not everywhere. Now social media have more freedom to publish anything, so that's why a lot of uh, unskillful information, that means I'm not unskillful, I will say the unwholesome or the greed based, hatred based posts publish and spread all greed and hatred everywhere. So it creates more disharmony and unhappiness. It creates people more sick in their minds and bodies. So that's why it is important not to follow these things. As much as you can, you should avoid to listen these things and pay attention to these things. Then you can protect your mind from falling into greed-based thoughts, anger, hatred-based thoughts. So, so you can protect your mind by control, watching all these things. Because once you watch, your mind naturally attracted to these things. So the important thing is if you are watching your heart, your mind, what 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 is going on inside that one. So then you see, oh, this is greed based, this is hatred based, so this is anger, ill will. So these things arise based on causes and conditions. Whatever thing you see, whatever thing you watch, whatever thing you pay attention, create these things. So some of these things are actually baseless. Some are actually have a false base. That means they misunderstood things. Anyway, we should understand what are the things under our control, what are the things are not under our control. So we should not worry about this control. So we have to only thing we have to do is, if you are mindful about your mind, what is going on there, is it falling into greed or hatred? So then you have to be careful. You have to cultivate non-greed and non-hatred. Abandon the greed and hatred arise in your mind. So quickly you have to do it. So that is the only thing you can do. You don't know the external stuff is correct or false, the true or false. So this is the way that you can protect your mind, not to fall into the unskillful stuff, unskillful verbal actions, bodily actions. So at the beginning, unskillful mental actions. That means this greed, greed driven thinking, or hatred driven thinking, or hatred or ill will driven thinking process. So you have to abandon. Once you see, you quickly abandon it. Don't follow it. Whatever reason is there, you should stop it. Otherwise, you can't protect your mind. So you have to keep in mind this reality. This is a truth. This is how you should protect. So importance of this protection is, once your this mind fall into the greed base or hatred base thought process, so it is always agitated and it is always scattered, and your body and mind become weak. So when you train your mind to cut off and let go of these things and cultivate the non-greed based actions, non-hatred based actions, so your verbal action become purified, your bodily actions become purified by that kind of mentality. So then your environment, whatever people around with you, also become good and kind, soft and gentle. So it spreads around you. So that is the important thing. So then you can encourage them to avoid unwholesome thinking, wrong way of thinking. So criticizing and blaming is also come under the same category. This is criticizing and blaming the wrong verbal actions come from the wrong mentality. You can criticize a person who is acting based on greed or hatred. Yes, then it is good, it is benefit to yourself and others, because it is not criticizing to destroy a person. It is it is criticize you can criticize the action, not the person. There's no personalities. Actions arise based on causes and conditions. The actions come from wrong way of thinking. Wrong way of thinking come from wrongly seeing things, wrongly relate to things. So this is a natural process always happening within all bodies and minds. So if you are keep in mind this reality, we are kind to ourselves and we are kind to the all our we are kind to all other living beings. So we can understand, we can see the causes and conditions, how things govern different minds and bodies. So we can understand ourselves and we can understand the other living beings. So it is helpful. It create more calmness, quietness, tranquility in your mind. So this tranquility is a helpful thing to maintain the mindfulness and clear comprehension. What is going on here? What is happening? Why these things arise? So this clear comprehension is important to understand things correctly and relate to things correctly. Then you can act with the world or do things more beneficial or fruitful way, or you can do things to the benefit of yourself and all other living beings, not to distract or not to harm anyone, not to harm yourself or not to harm others. So the root is how you understand this body and mind. If you understand it as an impermanent thing, all this mind mentality change, and it is not governed by someone. It is always arise based on causes and conditions. So then your mind is soft and gentle towards whatever thing arise in your mind. You are not uh, whatever thing come from outside also, you are soft and gentle. So you are always choose the right thing. You have the chance, you have the opportunity to choose the the skillful actions, skillful verbal actions and bodily actions. So this is a thing happened based on right practices, right way of seeing the world. So right way of seeing also you have to cultivate by practicing the right perceptions. Give a prominence to the right way of seeing things. So you have to develop the way of seeing things as these things. To understand, you have to understand the impermanence of your perceptions, impermanence of the objects you see, and the feelings arise in your mind also impermanent, change. You can see how these things are changed time to time, moment to moment, and volitions related to this mental process, or whatever volition arise in your mind, change time to time, even regarding one object. So that is the nature how it works. So you once you watch yourself, you understand, yes, this is true, this is correct. So then you know these greed-based actions are not correct. Greed is based on delusion, because whatever thing is going to change soon, why you strongly want it? If you may want it because just for maintaining your body or maintaining your living, so then you know this is only up to that level. So then you can find out whatever thing suitable to you, so not falling into strong greed or strong hatred. So that is called you can avoid abhijja domanasa, the strong wanting, and unhappiness arise in your mind. So this is the basic things I want to remind as when this Sunday Dhamma talk. So I will read one sutta. What today I thought I will read the sutta. So I thought it is good to remind how Lord Buddha talk about these things. This is actually brief sayings of Buddha's. So this is Anguttara Nikaya, Dukkha Nipata, Tatyapannasa, Ayachana Vagga. So I will read the number of this one. So I think it is. This is AN. This is AN 2.130 to 140. There are 10 small sayings of Buddha. So I will just read this one. So I thought it is good to read. So this is Ajahn Sujato's translation. Numbered Discourses 2. Aspiration. A faithful monk would rightly aspire, may I be like Sariputta and Moggallana. These are a standard and a measure for my monk disciples. That is Sariputta and Moggallana. A faithful nun would rightly aspire, may I be like the nuns Khema and Uppalavanna. These are a standard and a measure for my nun disciples. That is the nuns Khema and Uppalavanna. Faithful layman would rightly aspire, may I be like the householder Chitta and Hattaka of Alavi. These are a standard and a measure of my male lay followers. That is the householder Chitta and Hattaka of Alavi. A faithful laywoman would rightly aspire, may I be like the laywoman Kujuttara and Velukantaki, Nanda's mother. These are a standard and a measure for my female lay disciples. That is the laywomen Kujuttara and Velukantaki, Nanda's mother. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person has two qualities, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. What to? Without examining or scrutinizing, they praise those deserve of criticism. They criticize those deserve of praise. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person has these two qualities, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. When an astute, competent, good person has two qualities, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much merit. What to? After examining and scrutinizing, they criticize those deserving of criticism, and they praise those deserving of praise. When an astute, competent, good person has those two qualities, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much merit. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person has two qualities, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. What to? Without examining or scrutinizing, they arouse faith in things that are dubious, and they don't arouse faith in things that are inspiring. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person has these two qualities, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. When an astute, competent, good person has two qualities, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much merit. What to? After examining and scrutinizing, they don't arouse faith in things that are dubious. They do arouse faith in things that are inspiring. When an astute, competent, good person has these two qualities, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people. They make much merit. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person acts wrongly towards two people, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. What two? Mother and father. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person acts wrongly towards these two people, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. When an astute, competent, good person acts rightly toward two people, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much merit. What two? Mother and father. When an astute, competent, good person acts rightly towards these two people, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much merit. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person acts wrongly towards two people, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserved to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. What two? The realized one and a disciple of the realized one. When a foolish, incompetent, bad person acts wrongly towards these people, they keep themselves broken and damaged. They deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much bad karma. When an astute, competent, good person acts rightly toward two people, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much merit. What two? The realized one and a disciple of the realized one. When an astute, competent, good person acts rightly towards these two people, they keep themselves healthy and whole. They don't deserve to be blamed and criticized by sensible people, and they make much merit. These are there are there are these two things. What two? Cleaning your own mind and not grasping at anything in the world. These are the two things. There are, I will read it again. There are these two things. What two? Cleaning your own mind and not grasping at anything in the world. These are the two things. There are these two things. What two? Anger and hostility. These are two things. I will read it again. There are these two things. What two? Anger and hostility. These are two things. Again, another one. These are two things. What two? Dispelling anger and dispelling hostility. These are the two things. So that is the sutta. Actually, I took from Anguttara Nikaya, the numbered discourses, named the aspirations. This is called Ayachana Vagga. So, according to this teaching, also, Lord Buddha briefly show So you have to maintain your mind in the wholesome side, not allow it to fall into the unskillful levels. That means the unwholesome mentality, the greed, hatred based mentality. So, for keep your mind in the wholesome side. So you have to cut off and let go all unwholesome mentality. So that is the only way you can do it. So for cutting off and letting go, always supported by the right view. Because if you have the right view, so whatever thing you are perceiving now, may change. Whatever perceptions arise in this moment, it may change. Whatever feeling arise in this moment, it may change in after few moments or after some time, or it is subject to change. It is always subject to change. So whatever volition, whatever wanting arise in your mind, also the same, subject to change. So when you know this thing, when you aware of this reality, you can soften your mind. You can cut off and let go all unskillful mentality or unwholesome thoughts. So greed-based thoughts, hatred-based thoughts, you can cut off and let go, because basically these thoughts leads to unskillful bodily actions and unskillful verbal actions. So it leads to disharmony. It leads to the destruction of the external world and internal world both. It leads to the sickness of your mind and body. It leads to the sickness of other people's bodies and minds also. So make their minds and bodies become sick. So these things we have to keep in mind. This you have to avoid this unwholesome thinking first. Then it leads to the abandoning unwholesome verbal actions and bodily actions. So this is the Dhamma I thought to remind today. So if you have any questions, you can ask now. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Bhante. So there's currently 3 questions at the moment.
Yes.
We'll start with the first one. So, good morning, Bhante. Could you comment a bit further on the relationship between view, that is wrong and right view, and perception? Thank you.
Yeah. So can you ask me again? I couldn't get it.
Yes. So they're asking for the difference between, or the relationship between view and perception.
Yes, that is good. Because these things, we have to clearly understand the difference between these things. So view is where you see things, because according to the way you see things, the perceptions arise. So the perception is perceptions arise in later, and perceptions the beforehand you have has a connection. The in simple way I will tell you, when according to the practice, if you take things as permanent, if you think, if you are not actually not thinking all the time, but when you see things or perceive things, there is a underlying tendency there. They always has those I see things. So you have that understanding that I am seeing things. So whatever feeling arise, you feel as I feel things. So the problem is, actually these feelings change time to time based on changing causes and conditions. So this taking as I is not suitable because these feelings always subject to the causes and conditions at that time. So when the time is changing, the causes and conditions change. So then whatever thing you perceive or whatever thing you feel change to a different level. So that's why Lord Buddha say, when you understand, when you have that understanding about this nature, so whatever feeling perceptions arise in your mind, you don't give a big weight to those feelings and perceptions, because you see these feelings and perceptions in the right perspective, because you know these things are impermanent stuff. These things can change. So right view is that. Right view is, you know, whatever thing arises within you is not all this permanent stuff. These things are always subject to causes and conditions. So view is the way of taking your experience. So the view is the big picture. So you know how this body and mind works. So therefore you are not get fooled by the whatever thing happening here. So like for example, shall we see? So you go to a app or the web page, and you search and ask, uh, for example, for a simple example, you go to Google search and you search one word. Then Google search give the list of the websites, you know. So then that depends on the Google search internal settings. So you go to the Bing search and you type the same word. It gives us a different set of different list. Why? They have different programming. They have different interests, these companies. So that's why these things change. It is different to one is different to the other. In the same way, your mind is not a fixed thing. Your interests change, your values change, depending on whatever thing you are experiencing, whatever thing come to your mind, whatever thing remembering you. So whatever past experience, once you get remembered, or you change your perceptions. Oh, that is wrong. I forgot. I forgot. That is not the right thing. This is the right thing. After some time, you will say. So that's why, if you understand this nature of this body and mind, you develop a different relationship to this body and mind. You are not going to worry much about whatever thing arises within this system. So you naturally become a calm, quiet person, soft person, not very tough, hard person. So that is the view. Change the how to relate to your experiences. That's why perceptions arise based on causes and conditions at that moment. So it is changed to moment or time to time, based on the different causes and conditions which support to your mental process or the conscious process. It is a process. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind is a separate processes according to Dhamma. These are not only one process. So each of these process supported by the past karma or the past intentions, past experiences. So that's why it is not a fixed thing. You have large number of experiences, past experiences and past volitions related to your sense, this six faculties. So these things are changing. So if you have that understanding, this understanding about this big picture, you don't take you don't give a big weight to you whatever thing you feel, and whatever perception arise in this moment regarding whatever object. You know these things can change, but you use, if it is necessary to use at this moment, These feelings, perceptions, and volitions you use in your day-to-day life or all your work, you use. It is the way how it works. But you are not put a big weight or big trust on these things. These are not trustworthy. These things are changed. These things are changing. So that is the way how it happened. So it is not only for you, for all living beings, same. So that's why Lord Buddha said, until you have this consciousness, you can't avoid suffering. When you are conscious, it will lead, one day it will lead to suffering. So you can avoid one time, but next time, whatever means you use for avoid suffering leads to another kind of suffering. So that is how it works, because there is no permanent stuff within this system. All subject to change, always continuously changing. It is a phenomenon. It is not governed by anyone. It is the way how it works. That is called Dhamma. Once you understand Dhamma, mind, the revulsion happen automatically. Nibbida. Your mind turn away from first your mind. The first thing you can easily understand is this five sense world, the five sense world objects. When you understand it, your mind naturally turn away from this five sense world. Then mind go to the jhana realms. That means the mind world. It is a different level of existence, different level of experience. So understanding leads to the let go. So your understanding happen if you see these things in the right way. So that's why right view come first in the path. So first you have to develop the right view, then the right intentions arise, right the thinking, right way of seeing things arise, right thoughts arise. So then right verbal actions, bodily actions, right livelihood, all these things arise behind that path. These things support to the right effort, right mindfulness, and right stillness or right samadhi. So that is how it works. So the perceptions are always based on the view, because view, when you change the view, the important thing is perceptions. They're always supported by your past karma, but new karma is the practicing new view. So when you are practicing new view, you don't take strongly whatever perceptions arise. You have the ability to cut off and let go things and free your mind. So it makes your mind liberate from suffering. Liberation comes because you are practicing the right view. Any moment when you have the right view about your body and mind, so you just free your body and mind, or free the suffering. You are get free your suffering, or mind liberate from the suffering states. It is a natural process. It is the way how it works. So this Dhamma you should listen and practice. So then you can realize within yourself, yes, this is true. This is happening. This is correct. So is there any other questions?
Thank you, Bhante. So we do have two questions left.
Yeah.
The next one says, Bhante, could you clarify the distinction between delusion and wrong view?
Yeah, that is also important. The delusion is the one always associate with this conscious process. That means, see, when a person don't develop the right view, they don't understand the deluded mind. The delusion, they don't understand. Once you understand the delusion, that delusion disappears. That means, see, the deluded, this process is always deluded. This I, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind is run based on delusion. Because whatever thing you contact, that means your I, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, when contact happens, so feelings, perceptions, volitions arise. Forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions arise. So these things, actually, when these things arise, automatically there is a notion that I see, I feel, I understood. It is a part of the system. That is the delusion. So the basic delusion. You are always involved with this process. You are not separated. So that's why when you have that right view, you develop the right view, you know these things are arise based on causes and conditions. You can cut off and detach your mind from this process, or not follow those feelings, perceptions, and volitions. So that's why right view is supporting to subside the delusion. When you subside the delusion, then the other two roots are also subside or suppress, this greed and hatred. So then your mind come to the release states. You can release your mind from suffering states. It is not you are doing, but when the mind is associating with the right view, you cut off and let go and free your mind. So that's why you should have to practice the right view in your day-to-day life. Then you gradually experiencing the liberation that is called tadanga pahana. So the event by event, or the object by object, you can release your mind from suffering. So you experience it as a reality. So it is important to understand these two differences, because mind is always deluded, but you can subside delusion by practicing right view. So there is another level of vijja. Vijja is an achievement. So you fully come to the full liberation. That is the highermost level. So full liberation means you liberate from your mind, feelings, and perceptions. So once you come to that level, you know how to fully liberate. There's no more uh, no more delusion related to the five sense world. Not the five sense world, all existences, all consciousnesses. So you are fully understand what is existence, and how to bring this existence to the end. Existence always meant by these conscious processes. The last one is the mind consciousness. So when you experience go to the cessation of mind consciousness, so you know this is also come to the total cessation. So it is a reality. It is something exists in this world. So you see the difference, and directly experience the difference of the existence make suffering, and non-existence, that means go to the total cessation, make the full liberation, so the end of all suffering. So when directly experience these things, mind naturally incline towards the total cessation. So that's why when a person come to that level or develop that level, so they never go to another birth, because that is their choice is total cessation. So that means they are no more deluded by the existences, any sort of existences. That is the kama, rupa, arupa. This is a five sense world existence, or the fine material existence, or immaterial existences. All these existences, he go beyond that level. He knows all these existences are suffering. So once they experience the non-existence. That means you go beyond these levels. So he sees the contrast, understand the contrast, understand the suffering in all these existences. So that is called Vijja. It is a higher level. First, the Sakkayaditthi is the lower level. So this I, me, myself exist in. So I am experiencing. I am seeing. I am hearing. I am smelling. This kind of understanding is basically wrong. So when you know these things, your mind tends to abandon and free your mind from suffering states. So that is the difference. These differences should understand. Then you can practice correctly and directly experience the liberation in momentarily, in each and every moment. You can liberate your mind from suffering states. It is not the jhana states. Huh? You should not misunderstand these things. It is experiencing the liberation and right practice. So, okay. I think, is there any more questions?
Thank you, Bhante. So there is one last one. I understand we're very close to time, so would you be all right with taking the last question, or?
Okay. I will give us the small answer. Okay.
We'll do a quick answer.
3 minutes. Okay.
All right, thank you, Bhante. So the question is, good morning, thank you for your wonderful teachings. I'm very new to Buddhism and was wondering what textbook, audiobook, or podcast you would recommend to understand the basics.
Oh, this is a little bit hard question for me. So, because different people when writing books, different people have different way of presenting things. I actually I don't have a direct answer, but if you like, you can read Ajahn Brahm's books, or these are actually Ajahn Brahm try to present Dhamma in the small stories and these kind of things. So like the opening the door of your heart, like books. But to understand the Dhamma in this way, I think you have to study Buddhism. I don't know exactly to tell you a book. Sorry, actually, I don't have that understanding to tell you. No, nothing come to my mind because I study Buddhism from small age. So I am not familiar with the English book like to tell you. So that is the only thing. Okay, I'll try to find out one, and later I will tell to someone when this kind of Dhamma talk time. Sorry, I think I don't know the exact answer for that one. So
Thank
is
you,
there any
Bhante.
other questions? Or now may I stop?
That was the final question. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. So now I will pay respect to Buddha Dhamma Sangha and finish today Dhamma talk. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namah.